Welcome to the MarTech Matrix, the podcast where technology meets marketing and the future becomes now. Every week, we dive deep into the world of marketing technology, exploring how digital tools, AI, data analytics, and innovative strategies are reshaping the marketing landscape. Join us as we navigate through this complex matrix, interviewing industry experts, dissecting emerging trends, and decoding strategies that are setting the pace in this digital age. And now for today's show. We are joined by Mike True, founder and CEO of Prescient, the gold standard media measurement and budget optimization solution for omnichannel brands.
Good morning, Mike. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, we like to be very cogent around here, so we're going to jump right into the questions, and hopefully you can get right to the point with all of them so that our listeners can get right back to their day. Tell us right from the start, what is the business problem Prescient is solving for?
Marketers want to feel more confident in the cross-channel measurement of their media and being able to feel more confident in how they are allocating their media mixes and optimizing those media mixes for growth. You see the problem of brands are looking to diversify off of the traditional paid social channels, right? And trying to find new audiences. But, with iOS 14 cookies going away, just data privacy in general, the measurement capabilities become much more challenging, right? And so if they have a way to feel confident in really that top of funnel measurement and feel confident where you can have a system that will recommend and optimize your media mixes and do it in a way where you get the results the next day. So you can dynamically go in, make changes, look at the data without having to wait 30 days where you're perhaps spending at the wrong point or your media mix is not fully optimized.
Yeah, interesting. One of the things that we hear often from our members is that with cookies going away, their cost of acquisition, their cost of retention has been increasing dramatically because they're so dependent on the walled gardens to reach their target audience. It seems like having a solution like Prescient would allow them to maybe expand their marketing budgets outside of the walled gardens and yet still understand performance so that they can make those optimizations. I think you said in real time. Is that an accurate use case or a problem that you're solving?
Yeah, I'll give you an example of that spot on is we're seeing a lot of folks go into connected TV, right? But it's one of those channels where it's not typically clicked, but there's something that we call a halo effect, right? Where people are exposed to the awareness of this brand and will go directly to their website. They'll go search them on Google. They'll end up on their Shopify store, right? They'll end up going to Amazon, right? And so we've created these halo effects that essentially try to redistribute credit from the bottom of the funnel and shift that back up to the top of the funnel where there are no clicks for channels like connected TV. We see a lot with like TikTok and influencers and YouTube, right? Where traditionally these channels have a large halo effect, but when you look at the traditional measurement in the platform, because of these, walled gardens, it's not being captured. So. Yeah.
It's interesting because one of the things I'll ask a member, like, okay, given all of the circumstances that we're dealing with, what are you going to do differently this year? And they said, we're going to play more at the top of the funnel, right? We're going to put less focus on our retargeting solutions, put more focus on out of home, CTV, audio, more branding efforts. And it's funny that this term brand performance or performance branding comes up a lot. It seems like this again is a way to give them more confidence in their budget allocations and get a read on it more quickly than traditional sort of wait 30 days, see how it ran, make optimizations for the next campaign. You're actually helping them impact it every day.
Yeah, the models update daily. We have two models. So the first one is that really top of funnel measurement of those halo effects, but there's also a optimization model, right? Where you're thinking about, hey, how do I essentially select all of my campaigns, right? Based off of historical measurement and click a button, and then 45 seconds later, we're identifying points of saturation across each campaign. And the models that we built are built on a confidence score. And hey, we predict this is going to be the performance for each campaign, rolling that up and saying, here's the predicted growth over the next 7, 14, 28 days. And so the models really work well together, right? You take the halo effects of the measurement, the seasonality of the business that goes into an optimization model, and the models will update the very next day. We have clients going in there and running 10 optimization scenarios in one setting and trying to figure out what is that optimal mix, implementing that, and just feeling a little bit more confident in their ability to adjust that spend, get measurement very quickly so they can be a little bit more dynamic in how they're thinking about their strategies.
And did I hear you right? So your clients, your customers are using the platform in advance of a campaign, right? So they're able to say, if this is the campaign I launch with, how will it perform and what's the confidence in the performance that you're predicting? And they're using it on an ongoing basis while the campaign's running to make optimizations.
You hit that spot on, right? Is everything that we have is upper bounds, lower bounds. There's confidence scores tied to all of it. And we, give the ability for them to actually track each day how close we are to those predictions and how well they're tracking towards that budget allocation. So the example would be, hey, we ran a scenario, we exported it, we gave it to our media buyer. This is how much we should spend each day per campaign. And then 2 days later, right, there's a day buffer. 2 days later, we say, all right, well, if you keep the spend, you're tracking towards that recommended budget, right? But we'll also say this campaign is tracking towards the forecasted performance across their revenue, ROAS, and soon to be other variables like CAC, new customers, email signups, and optimizations across not only a Shopify, but marketplaces as well.
It's really interesting because there's so many things on a daily basis that can impact a brand's performance or sales, right? You have weather issues, you have war, you have flight delays that maybe reduce shipping, or we had issues with during the pandemic with just getting products built, right? Just getting products shipped. So this is a way for them to be able to make those changes and understand the impact of what's happening in the dynamics of the market on their media and making those adjustments. What sparked the idea for Prescient? How did you come up with this idea? Tell us the backstory.
It's a really random story and a lot by luck, and very fortunate now that we're in the D2C community. But we initially started researching this model in 2020 for a major record label, Warner Music Group in the music industry, because there's no Google Analytics in music, right? There's no, hey, somebody can't, we ran a bunch of ads that was promoting an upcoming song on Spotify and YouTube and Pandora and Apple. And then a whole bunch of random events that happen with these big artists, like going to Coachella or going on the James Corden show. There's all these little events that can impact the awareness of leading up to these songs, right? And so there's no way to say, the label execs were not confident in what was actually driving the performance of a stream. And so we had built a model completely from scratch to try to give the label execs confidence in our measurement through a series of back testing. And then we started running the optimizations like we're talking about today with Shopify brands, right? If we had that same budget for this artist, and our model would have reallocated the spend to, move from Spotify ads to YouTube and Facebook to Snapchat, we believe we could have gotten X amount of more streams. And we ended up they ended up taking our budget recommendation for a #1 Billboard artist in February of 2021. And we ended up predicting that at 96.3% confident based off of a 97% confidence score. And the very next month, Apple announced iOS 14.5. And we said, we've just built this probabilistic model. These are going to be like the reemergence of these sort of MMMs with optimizations included. MTAs will become less reliable. And so the timing worked out really well to say, all right, well, let's start in e-commerce, D2C. And then, the plan is we'll start scaling horizontally into other verticals from there.
That's fascinating because so many startups start as a result of a problem. You were already doing this, and then the problem just came to the market, and you were like, wait, we can solve for that because we're already doing that in an area where they don't have any of these tools that marketers are reliant on, cookies and iOS. That's fascinating background. What are some of the other companies in your space, and share with us maybe ones that the audience knows, and what makes Prescient different than those companies?
I think that and this is such an important topic we've been talking about lately, is like, there's a notion of like historical measurement, and there's multiple forms of measurement. I'm such big fans I've been inspired. I think I emailed or sent LinkedIn to Ron from Rockerbox when I was first coming out, being like, listen, you've inspired us so much of this measurement tool you've built. You've had folks like Rockerbox and Triple Whale and Hyros, Measured.com. The way we think about this is there's no source of the truth. And I firmly believe that the source of the truth is the media buyer, right? The marketer. They know the business, they know the performance of these channels, but there's a variety of data points that they can use to triangulate, right? And so you have your MTA that's looking for, click-based attribution, right? You have your Google Analytics for last click, more bottom of the funnel, the platforms. You have a measure.com that does a really good job with running geo holdouts and testing for incrementality. And then where Prescient fits in is more of the kind of at the bottom of the artificial intelligence layer that's looking across all of their spend, trying to find that optimal spend point, making recommendations, and then having that just continuous feedback loop of data to continuously optimize. And so I feel like we fit in that recommendation machine learning layer, and the other platforms can be used to triangulate alongside of our technologies.
Excellent. So it sounds like, look, we as a marketer, it just sounds like I have to buy another solution, right? So how do I determine, which solution I buy? Do I have to buy them all? Do they work together? I mean, I get that you're saying there's no source of truth. They all provide a value, and you triangulate the data, but it's just another vendor for me to manage. How do I manage that? How do I think about that?
I think about from Prescient's perspective in general is if the marketer's really trying to focus on measuring difficult channels, right? Feeling confident in that top of the funnel brand awareness, and they're really looking for a reliable data models that they can trust to optimize their media mixes, right? Like it's super important to have the right math and the right models when you're using probabilistic metrics, right? But we have a lot of clients that are using Northbeam alongside of us. They're using Measure alongside of us. It really comes down to the appetite of the brand. For us, we have a really good case for that because we have tangible, measurable ROI. So if they're saying, hey, we're spending $200,000 across all these different tools, right? We can sit there and tangibly prove out, hey, we helped you increase your ROAS, your revenue based off of our recommended media mixes. And hopefully that can help alleviate some of the costs that they have with adjacent solutions, because I feel they're really important. But it really comes down to what the brand and the marketers are trying to do from a growth perspective, a measurement perspective, and an optimization perspective.
Yeah, it's interesting when I think about those other types of measurement solutions that you suggest triangulating with. With your solution, it sounds like you're at the bottom of the triangle, right? And so a brand can map your predictions, right, your recommendations, and look at their actual performance and see, did the changes I make with Prescient impact my revenue enough, a multiple based on what I paid Prescient, hopefully what they paid all their measurement partners, but certainly Prescient, right? Is that a fair way to look at it from an ROI perspective?
Yeah, 100% right? Because we do have that tracking ability in there. And that's how these sort of recommendation systems can work. It's like if you get recommended something, it should be doing better than what you're currently doing today, right? And the KPI associated to that is, revenue or higher profitability based off of your ad spend. And that's something we work really closely with the brands on when they onboard. We get access to the read-only Shopify GA, their ad channels. We learn the business in and out. We help them run a variety of optimization scenarios, and we help map out that growth and that incremental lift. And so we sit at the bottom of that. We sit right here at the bottom of that, and we've just been researching this from scratch for the last 4 years, right? And so it truly is the most state-of-the-art and most sophisticated machine learning models that are trying to solve this problem that exists in the ecosystem for sure.
So in my research around this general topic, I read a lot about some of these other types of measurement solutions and what they have planned for the future. What does your roadmap look like? How do you start to creep into their space? Do you expand on what you're doing? What happens when they creep into your space? How do you look at the roadmap and what's planned?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a consolidation of these tools, right? But there's a jack of all trades, right? And a master of none, right? We truly are this master of top of the funnel measurement optimization, right? We're going really deep into forecasting, time series forecasting to connect the finance and marketing teams, and then expanding out into into different e-com platforms outside of just Shopify, right? So you think about we got a big pipeline for Salesforce Commerce Cloud, big commerce, custom data warehouses, and then into different marketplaces as well. And then, really the long-term plan here is to horizontally scale this thing into financial services, travel, hospitality, and the models are agnostic to any industry as well.
That makes sense. So who's your ideal customer right now and in the future?
Somebody who is looking for top of the funnel measurement, right? Who's expanding their channels, right? Or they're already having their channels expanded and they're looking to get a better measurement of how, connected TV or out of home or, is impacting their Shopify. We're coming out with an Amazon model here in a few weeks. And so you'll be able to see the impact of how your non-Amazon ads impact your Amazon sales. But typically, we like to see brands that are spending on Facebook, Google, and at least one more channel, right? Typically $1 million or above in ad spend, and are eager and are focused on taking that, expanding their measurement and optimization practices into more probabilistic models, and ones that are perhaps struggling with, understanding how to optimize that mix based off of the challenges they might face with a multi-touch attribution solution.
Hey, let's dive into that Amazon topic for a moment. One of the, given that a lot of our members are in the retail space and a lot of them have become reluctantly reliant on Amazon, right? Because they know they need to be there. They know they're consumers themselves, right? They know the behavior is, I see an ad for a product. Doesn't matter on the, pick a channel, outdoors, TV, radio, the internet, doesn't matter. And yeah, they know they can go to the brand's website. Maybe they go there and they learn about the product more, and maybe they even put it in a cart and they see shipping is going to be 5 days. So then their next step is Amazon has trained them to go to Amazon, search for the product. Maybe it's on Prime and they can get it in 2 days and it's free shipping and they don't have to pay for it if maybe the brand charges. And so the media drove the Amazon sale, but Amazon's taken the credit. And that's a really difficult thing to measure and understand. Okay, how much of my media is driving my sales on Amazon? And it's more than just understanding the sales that are as a result, right? Because the margins that the brand makes on Amazon are typically a lot thinner than direct. So talk to us about the Amazon solution and why you're building it and how you're coming at the problem.
There is a halo effect across awareness of a brand, right? And that awareness can lead people to go directly to their website. It could lead them to Amazon, right? It could lead them to retail. It could lead them to Target, Walmart, Ulta Beauty, Sephora, wherever, they're selling their products, right? And we ran it through the model, right? And there was a store that did about $5 million in a quarter on Amazon, and they spent about $500,000, and the attribution from Amazon was just under $1 million. There's still $4 million of unexplained Amazon revenue there. And so our halo effects probabilistically based off of confidence scores felt, hey, Meta, Google, TikTok, Tatari, and influencers accounted for $3 million of that halo effect, right? And so now they have just a more explained revenue on that Amazon store that even if you use the Amazon attribution link, right, it has to be clicked, right? But that'll explain more revenue on the Amazon store where that came from for non-Amazon ads. But there's still this whole world out there where people see things, they don't click it, and they end up converting. And I from what we're hearing from the clients and just industry being practical across the industry, it's a big problem that people want answered, even if it's directionally accurate, right? And then being able to run optimizations across your spend for both stores, right? There's this big halo effect that the optimizer can really help understand and help the brands make better decisions.
For sure. So how does somebody get started? Like, take us through the process. Because I know for a lot of times when I talk to brands, it's like, I have a queue. I need to put tags up. I need to get dev involved. What does the process look like for a marketer if they wanted to get started with Prescient?
The average onboarding time, and we have them time it, is usually 12 to 16 minutes. We have pre-built APIs and really state-of-the-art infrastructure where they connect all of their sources. Great use case with Good American on their website where it was 16 minutes they were onboarded on Monday, and then Wednesday they had 2 machine learning models that were trained, back tested, and live. And on Thursday they were running optimization scenarios. And so the onboarding is incredibly fast. And my days at IBM was just managing these very strategic customer relationships is very important to us. And so they'll have their own Slack channel. And we meet with them every week until they feel comfortable with there's a qualitative and quantitative, right? They feel comfortable and confident in the measurement of the halo effects, right? And then it's quantitative, right? Will help them pick out the right optimization scenarios and then help them measure that, right? And so, we're in it for the long run, and we're here to make sure that they feel confident in all aspects of the platform. So super fast to get on. Time to insights is fast, time to confidence is fast, and time to measurement of outcomes is quick as well, depending on the forecasting period they select.
I love it. So that means they also know if you're helping their business more quickly, and so and I'm sure you do, but
yeah.
but that's always a question that people have is like, how do I know this is working? How quickly will I see results? And it sounds like it's very quickly. Look, we're going to wrap it up there. This has been fascinating. I'm sure we could talk for another 20 minutes on the same topic and dig deeper. And maybe we'll have you back on the show someday. But let's stop there and let everyone get back to their day. Thanks for joining us, Mike. And I want you to have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. See you, Sean.
Bye.
Whether you're a marketing professional, tech enthusiast, or just curious about the digital world, the MarTech Matrix has something for everyone. Tune in, get inspired, and transform the way you think about marketing and technology. Let's decode the matrix together. Check us out at www.themartechmatrix.com for show notes, upcoming episodes, and subscribe. While you're there, submit your questions for each of our upcoming guests.